quantity declared, and the place of examination.
And where is that information captured? All that information?
I'm saying it wasn't captured at that
No,
stage.
you say you have it.
Yeah.
Where does DPCI capture all this information?
It
At
would be-
ORS in Durban Harbour, they capture it in an inspection report. Where do you capture it?
Our inquiry would carry all of this information.
Doesn't answer my question, Colonel. Where do you capture, in what
No,
document?
we
If I
don't
were
have
to
a-
talk, my apologies,
Yeah.
if I were to talk to, say, Brigadier Newton at the Durban Harbour, if it is an ORS-led or inspection, I would ask for the inspection report. But if it is a DPCI-led operation, and I speak to your final boss, what do I ask for? To obtain that very information that you say you have
Yes.
already. What's the document I ask for? Is there one to ask for in the first place?
No, there's no document.
There isn't.
Yes,
So it's information that is there, but it's scattered all over.
that's correct.
Okay.
Can I just follow up on this? So, except for the investigation diary, and assuming for purposes of what I'm putting to you now, that it is an accurate, it contains an accurate contemporaneous notes or reflection
Yes.
of what happened on the dates that are claimed to have recorded this. Except for that, it seems to me about this operation in particular,
Yes.
that there is in fact no other record of what happened at the scene. And the scene being where you found these drugs.
Aside from the affidavits of various
Yeah, the
individuals
affidavits are much later.
Yeah.
You see, we're having a discussion here, you're having a discussion with the evidence leader about an inspection report. And in 7.2, it is clear in 7.2 that this is a document, or this information is completed during the inspection, right? It tells you inspection is to be conducted within these hours, and then you must then record all of these things. That's at least how I read it. And I'm asking you that in this particular operation, all we have is that investigation diary. We have nothing that is the equivalent of this kind of inspection report.
You are correct, Commissioner.
I am correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Advocate Silo, can I just follow up? Colonel, this document, the SOP, Standard Operating Procedures, you say you've never seen this before.
I've never.
And this one, we can accept that it belongs to ORS, Operational Response Services. Does the PCI have a similar document that sets out what you must do when you go to a drug bust at a port or a similar facility?
Okay. That's a good question, Commissioner. In fact, there's nothing in place in terms of a memorandum of understanding between ourselves, border police, customs. So we did sit around the table, I would think, maybe 1 year ago. We've had some deliberations with senior officials from customs, the brigadier that's in charge of the harbor as well. We're in the process of drafting something. So there was nothing formalized to basically dictate how do we work, how do we approach these sort of interdictions at the harbor or at depots.
So are you saying to us, you do as you please? If you hear that there are drugs at a port or at a depot rather, you just go there and you do as you please and you exercise your discretion?
I think that maybe, I don't want to put it too loosely, like there's no order in the way we work.
Obviously within the confines
Yes.
of policing.
Yes, there isn't really any memorandum of understanding or any standard operating procedure or any document that would guide us exactly who goes there first, who do you call out next. For now, it's verbal agreements. We got understandings with the border police, but there isn't any formalized document that talks to how do we jointly approach these type of
But
cases.
did you not consider yourself duty-bound, seeing that you had never led an operation of this nature? You said to Chair earlier that you had participated, but you had never yourself led an operation of this nature. Did you not consider yourself duty-bound to communicate with the relevant stakeholders so that you know what to do when you get there, who to contact, and what not to do?
I should have done that, Commissioner. I did not. I took it for granted. I've been watching my members do it all along. I went there and I just did the same.
Because it goes back to that perception you mentioned in your affidavit, that the way things were done in this operation leads one to believe that this was all deliberate. This was all part of a plan to seize those drugs, not book them in a police station, book them in a place where they are susceptible to theft and break-ins, and they have disappeared, as we know.
Yes.
Because no proper procedures were followed. Are you even bound by the national instruction applicable to drug seizures
No.
as DPCI?
Yes, definitely. The national instructions apply to the police holistically.
Now, sitting here today, focusing only on what you have covered with Advocate Sillo, up to the point where you take the drugs out of the containers.
Yes.
Sitting here today, can you say to us that you complied fully with that national instruction?
Honestly, no, Commissioner.
No.
I haven't complied fully.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Khumalo. If we could just then complete this little exercise, and it really is for my benefit to understand how things are done at the DPCI. And as Commissioner Khumalo points out, it starts at the harbor when you open that container. And it stretches all the way to the weekend of the 6th to the 8th of November, when there's a break-in at Port Shepstone offices to steal. And we are looking at what happened at which step. And that is the purpose of this exercise.
Yes, Commissioner.
And as Commissioner Khumalo points out, to determine whether or not that eventual theft was purely coincidental or was it set up from the beginning. The answer will depend on the answer to that particular question will depend on the information you provide to the commissioners to make that call.
I understand.
So they would appreciate your assistance.
Yes,
Okay.
Commissioner.
So then staying at page 691, just then we have dealt with the first bullet point in the listing, duties of the inspection team upon inspection of profiled containers at licensed depots, right? And I'll say, to your fairness, there is a notion in the SOP as to what is a profile container. It goes through a process, it's profiled, identified, and then it's selected for inspection. So that is the official process. But I'm sure you'll agree with me that this particular container, through the intelligence of Captain Duma, was quote-unquote profiled. It was one of 10 containers being brought on that vessel, the Ludo.
Yes.
You are aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware.
And it is the only container that you were directed to search.
Yes, that's correct.
Would you accept then, therefore, it was, and I put that in quotation marks, it was profiled?
I would think to some degree, yes, Commissioner.
So then here, in terms of ORS, what would be proper procedure, appropriate procedure for dealing with a profiled container? If you go to the 5th bullet point, at ORS, they say, amongst other things, the type of inspection conducted must be endorsed in the inspection report. You see where I'm reading?
Yes, I can see,
And in
Commissioner.
parentheses, full unpack, tunnel, or tailboard inspection. Do you know what those are? Are you familiar with the terms?
Yes, I have a vague idea. A tunnel examination, full unpack of the tailboard. I have an idea.
Okay.
Commissioner. Yes.
The bullet points following actually do it for us. I ask because I'm wholly unfamiliar. A full unpack is when all goods in the container is unpacked and placed within the depot facility for easy accessibility and proper inspection of the goods by the inspection teams. Then it adds, and to also allow the capacity of K9 unit to search the container for possible detection of narcotics. Second subpoint, a tunnel examination is when either the right, left side of the container is unpacked in order for easy accessibility and proper inspection of the goods by the inspection teams, and to also allow the capacity of the K9 unit to search the container for possible detection of narcotics. That's, they inform us. Is it correct, would it be correct to conclude that you did, according to this definition, a tailboard inspection of that container?
Yes, it would seem like it wasn't a tunnel inspection, so it was a tailboard.
Sorry, I missed that?
It was not a tunnel inspection or a tunnel examination.
Yes.
It was this tailboard inspection.
Tailboard.
Yes.
And
What is a tailboard inspection?
Can we just check with respect to these, not the other percentages, this particular operation?
Yes.
We know from evidence, and you have also said that from the docket, you did see a detention notice
Yes.
on the C section or something. So we are dealing with a container which is under the control of customs, as in customs has given a detention notice. And I want to understand how it is that they have stopped a container for inspection. We know it was bone meal in there, and we know that it needed to be checked for that reason by a vet if there are no other reasons at all. And you go there, you're saying you open a container that is being kept or detained on the instruction of SARS or customs, and they have no interest in you open that container and what you do. Is that what you're saying?
Commissioner, I think I need to point out that we only became aware of customs' interest in this container after this operation. Remember, the customs detention notice is dated the 23rd of June, 2021. We conducted the operation on the 22nd of June, 2021. Had somebody informed me, whether it be the warehouse or anybody informed me that customs had a detention notice or intended to detain these containers, then we would have gladly invited them on board.
Can I just amend my question?
Yes.
It is not under detention, but it is still under control of customs. It hasn't cleared customs. I think that's a conversation you've had right now, and you accept that it hadn't cleared customs. It's sitting in the depot. If it hasn't cleared customs, which it must still do, are you saying customs will let you walk in, open it, do whatever you want to do, remove what you want to remove, and you walk on, and then they will happily later on do whatever they normally do in clearing that container without knowing or any sight at all of what you came on and did on that container? Is that how you say it works?
Commissioner, my understanding is, as much as we can say, it's not a must that customs need to check every container that has bone meal in it. It's not their duty to do that, to check every container that has bone meal in it. The detention notice, in my understanding, had very little or nothing to do with the actual commodity. The person whose duty it is to view that commodity or make sure it meets the required standards is the State Vet, Department of Agriculture. So customs, in my opinion, or in my understanding, once it had left the harbor, it went to a depot. The next step in that whole process was, I think the State Vet would have come through and inspected to make sure all is in order. However, to me, it was going to be transported. The next step was it was going to reach its consignee. I'm not aware of customs checking every consignment of bone meal just by virtue of it being.
Well, the evidence that we have received, if I understood it correctly, it is that because it is bone meal, it necessarily falls in the category of things that must be checked. They cannot come into the country without checking.
Yes.
So I'm asking you the question, and our understanding was it is customs that flags it for it to be parked so that it can be checked for that purpose. And really the essence of my question is, someone else, another agency has an interest in this, and you know it's bone meal, you do. So another agency has an interest in it. Are you saying the manner in which things operate, as it's such that you can come in, open it up, do whatever you do in the absence of that other party, agency, that other state agency which has an interest in the container, and then you move on, and in their good time they'll come and do their whatever they do with it without any insight into what you did, and then later on, as we know it happened here, you are the one that comes back to release it, to say to the clearing agent, this can go. I'm just trying to make sense of that way of operating.
Yes. Okay, I hear you, Commissioner, and I hope I'm not laboring on the wrong point, excuse me. But what I'm trying to get at is, we were only aware of this customs detention notice after our search. The detention notice, when I looked through the inquiry, is dated the 23rd of June. So at the time of us conducting this search or inspection of the container, at that stage, none of us knew that customs had an interest in this container.
Also understood that ORS would know, because the communication, as this consignment is coming, the communication would eventually land at ORS, and ORS will inform whoever it informs. That's how I've understood that. So through ORS, there would have been communication on the system that this consignment is coming, and this is flagged for reason A, B, C, D. Is that not your understanding of how it works?
That's difficult for me to answer, Commissioner, but I would say that in not all cases that we've encountered are customs and SEPs on the same page. To give you an example practically, it sometimes happens that it clashes, like SEPs is interested in a certain container, and then you learn that customs is also now interested. And it's only at the 11th hour when both parties are now interested to go inspect it. So I don't want to mislead the Commission, but I'm saying I don't think there's any system in place, or if there was, Border Police did not tell us, the warehouse manager did not tell us, so I'm saying to the
Well,
Commission,
Border Police couldn't tell you because you didn't speak to them. You didn't involve them at all. So they couldn't have told you.
Border Police is Sergeant Mkize, and
No, Sergeant Mkize is your lift. He's not,
Yes.
he plays no other role than to give you transport, because suddenly you find you have 27 bags to transport. Let's not make his role any bigger than that. He tells us in his statement.
yes.
Yes.
Commissioner,
So he couldn't have said to you that, no, you know what, this container has been flagged for inspection by ORS. He couldn't have told you that.
Yes. Commissioner, if I may, if I look at the Governor's statement, it's page 777, right?
It says only